Commissioners, have you had a chance to review
I
it?
move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. The motion carries. First item of our regular agenda this evening is to consider a proclamation declaring September as National Recovery Month. Benjamin Meyer is going to present, I believe.
Awesome. Hello.
Hello.
I'll just read it. Is that good? Okay.
Sure.
National Recovery Month 2025. Mental and substance use disorders, including co-occurring disorders, affect all communities nationwide. But with commitment and support, people with these disorders can achieve healthy lifestyles and lead rewarding lives in recovery. By seeking help, people who experience mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders can embark on a new path toward improved health and overall wellness. The focus of National Recovery Month each September is to celebrate their journey, as recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, and every community. Recovery Month spreads the message that treatment is effective and people can and do recover every day. Whereas the impact of mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders are apparent in our local community, many of our neighbors in Harvey County are affected by these conditions. And whereas through Recovery Month, people become more aware and able to recognize the signs of mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders, which encourages people in need of treatment and recovery services to seek help. And whereas managing the effects of these conditions helps individuals achieve healthy lifestyles, both physically and emotionally. And whereas the Recovery Month observance continues to work to improve the lives of those affected by mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders by raising awareness of these disorders and educating communities about the effective treatment and recovery services that are available.
Now, therefore, I, Rich Stinnett, Mayor of Newton, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 as National Recovery Month in Newton, Kansas, and call upon our community to observe this month with compelling programs and events to support this year's observance.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would call for a motion to approve the proclamation.
I would go ahead.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Awesome. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Do we want to take a quick moment to do a photo?
So,
You guys want to come down?
She'll take it for you.
Do you want the, hold the, yeah, there you go. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Next item this evening is the 2026 budget hearing. Donna, are you going to kick us off before we open the public hearing?
I am.
All right.
Just to go over a little bit, the revenue neutral rate was provided to us by the Harvey County Clerk. The rate given was expressed in mills and would generate the same property tax revenue as levied in the previous tax year using this year's assessed valuation, 2025. The city's valuation increased from $170,904,698 to $179,374,523, or 4.95%. We told the county clerk of our intention to exceed the revenue neutral rate, or it would have dropped from what we had last year, 72.223 to 68.82 mills. We then published in notification for this public hearing tonight in Newton, Kansas. So if we kept the revenue neutral rate in place, the mill levy would fall by 3.4 1.03 mils, which is equal to $610,413. During the budget workshop, several options were discussed by the commission, and keeping the mill levy flat would allow the city to capture the additional revenue generated by this increased valuation and keep our general fund reserve close to the balance of 15% of budgeted expenditures. It's not there? It's not working? Oh.
It's not gonna open.
Oh, okay. Well, the things we need to decide on this is to open the public hearing for the citizens to speak. We need to have a roll call vote on the resolution before we close the public hearing, and then close the public hearing.
Okay. With that, we will open the public hearing. Anybody wish to speak?
Hi, my name's Joe Solomon. I've been here multiple years in a row. And over the last 8 years, I've been hearing how when we start getting more housing and everything into this community, that the taxes would start dropping. The only way I see the taxes will ever drop is if you guys drop the mill levies. Because I don't see what we're doing to help the community in the rest of the big picture. Part of the question, I know you got a lot of people here that are probably head of departments. What is your mindset when you set up your yearly budget? Is it based on we have X amount of dollars to spend, we spend it or lose it? Or do we actually think, what can we do for the public in reducing how much we are spending yearly in order to drop the budgets down? Because I'm not seeing that. Something else I've seen, and I'm not trying to badger this one, but I've seen somebody listed as Coney doing ads for the city. Is that person on the payroll that is doing that?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So if we can afford that person, can we afford to hire somebody to come in and do lean on this area for every department? Because if we can spend money to have somebody go by and dress up as a cone and do safety things, I get all that. But I think we could squeeze something in the budget to have somebody from outside come in and evaluate departments on how we can reduce cost. Because frankly, the senior citizens are just getting beat up. They don't get increases every year, like 5% on Social Security and all of that. I'm still working. I'm 68. I drive a bus. Guess why? Part of it's because of taxes. Because somebody has to come up with the extra money every year. And Social Security and all that is only going to cover so much. So that means somebody's got to come out and find more money. That means I have to keep working. At some point, I'd really like to retire. But if my taxes keep increasing, over the last 8 years, my house property taxes went up 2/3 in value. And the taxes just keep going with it. And I come down here because there was other people saying, you're wasting your time. They don't care. They ain't going to listen. You're just going to go voice what you got to say, and it'll just go on through, and who cares? So I'd really like you to look at trying to bring the mill levy down some and give the taxpayers, at least the seniors, some sort of break. Because I can always just say, well, gee, I got more budget. I can hire more people. I can go buy another truck. I can do this. What am I doing for the public to show them that I really care about where we are spending their dollars? Because I would even like to see the point that you tell the people below managers, because I already assume it's managers' jobs to reduce cost. I would like to see you offer it to your employees saying we will give you 5% of whatever you can come up with that will prove hard-earned savings for these areas. That way you might get some incentive on the lower levels to step up and give you some good ideas. Because when I go out and walk around, I see 4 or 5 guys at one area, and one guy's around the backhoe, and one guy's on a shovel, and 3 guys are just sitting there watching or whatever. And I'm not trying to pick on a particular department, but it happens everywhere. I even see it where I work. But that's another story. But anyway, I've said my piece. I just like you to think about that because all these senior citizens are getting to the point, well, what are we going to pay this month because we're going up again? And the ones that hurt the most is the ones that have two couples and one goes away and there's one person trying to make it on one budget. So please think about that some.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Sam Rendy. I've only lived in Newton for a couple
Excuse
of
me,
years.
can you talk into your
Into
mic
the-
a little?
Is it on? Is it better?
Yeah.
No?
It's still, try it again,
Is that better?
a little bit, I guess.
Is there a volume thing for this? Because that's about as loud as I'm going to get.
Okay, it's okay,
I'm
go
used to
ahead.
leading and singing at church, but not, speaking in front of a council. So I've lived in Newton for a couple of years. We moved up here from Wichita and into Park City and into here. And I was shocked at how high the taxes are here in Newton for such a small town. The only thing I really have to say is I'm not impressed with, I live in the Quail Creek neighborhood just south of the hospital. And when it snows, it doesn't get plowed. I'm shocked. I lived in Park City for years, and if they can plow my little neighborhood in Park City, I'm not sure why the neighborhoods here like Quail Creek can't get plowed in the wintertime when my taxes are high enough to cover that. The only thing I've ever had a problem with is that if somebody's running around, I know it's a city employee, you got time to run around and look at my trash cans to see if they're put out before 4 o'clock on a Wednesday and give me a ticket, but you don't have time to plow my neighborhood. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay, now we'll go on to the next step before we close it, right? Roll call vote?
You'll need to make a motion in a second for the resolution, which would be G1364. And with that one, we would take the roll call vote. So we have a motion and a second first.
Alrighty. And it was G1364, you said?
Correct.
Okay. And call for a motion?
Can I just ask a question here real quick? I just want to know, in our audience, does everyone here understand how this increase came about? Okay, because the reason why I asked that, because I think last year at this time we had folks that did not know, and I think I asked somebody to explain that. I've seen comments in Facebook where many folks think that we raised the taxes, and that's not the way that happened. And so I don't know if we want to explain how the revenue neutral rate, we arrived at that, and the valuation increases actually came through the county, and that was really by state mandate, I believe, because the state hasn't believed that we are up to the levels in valuations in our properties. And so we had one about 3 years ago. I think it was 12 point something percent. That was everybody's taxes went up. And then the next year was 7 some percent on the average. It wasn't that your valuation increased that much. That was the average. Some had more, some had less. And then this year, it's about 4.5%. And so, and I believe, Adam, in your newspaper, there was an article here several months ago about Newton and North Newton being the only communities left that weren't ready or didn't have their property valuations up to the level. Yeah, Yeah, I can go back and look, but all of that to say, it's not something that we created. That is, the valuation increases bring the amount of revenue that we've talked about. And if you can do, I think you can probably do a better job.
No,
even-
you're doing a great job.
no.
Yeah, she is.
I just want, because, I mean, I'm seeing heads shake no. And when you go home and not knowing and understanding, that just makes it worse for you. It makes it worse, and you don't have, you haven't been properly communicated with. If you took the time to show up at this meeting, then you should have an understanding of how this came about. And so I can try to muddle through that. I will say, I understand it more here. Repeating it can be the difficulty. But if you would
Love to
please
maybe
do that,
kick it
just
off.
so that our audience here has an understanding, because I want them to go home with an understanding.
Sure. So I don't know exactly why each one of you is here, but I'm going to just kind of throw it out there as make a broad statement. It is true, the county appraiser's office has put out there that the state has more than requested, has stated the county appraiser's office has to now bring up the value of the homes in our area to what the state guidelines are. They had been undervaluing properties in our area. I don't know the details of that. That might be more of a discussion with the county, but you have seen increases in your property values because of that. That value is assigned based on a formula, a tax amount per thousand. And we levy a mill, currently, what is it, 71 mills?
72.223.
72 mills. So we've kept that pretty consistently, but because the values have been going up, you're paying more in property taxes. The gentleman who just spoke right now, he has a good argument. Lower the mill levy, so we're paying not as much, or we're paying less. And that's a decision made at the commission level. It is a policy decision. We're a growing community, and the budget that's put forth in front of the commission ensures that we are taking care of the things that they think are important, this community thinks are important. So,
If our property values wouldn't have shot up, so your budgets would have just shot up?
And it depends. No, that's not the case.
Because that's
You're
what's happening. You're going to collect more money from the values going up. So in the right way, then we should lower the mill.
it's not reactive. So we put forth a budget based on a plan, and the decision to approve that plan is based on this body. Now, if they're saying grow, build more houses, build more streets, build X, Y, and Z, we need more budget to do that. If
We're building houses now?
putting in
Houses are
streets,
being built
yeah,
to
houses are,
increase the
yeah,
value.
the infrastructure,
Yeah.
the infrastructure. So we don't just say, oh, we have all this money and we need to spend it because we're going to lose it. That's not the mindset. That's not the framework. That's not how we run. And I wanted to clarify that. If it is,
I would like to see an outside entity come in and do evaluations on how to reduce it.
sure, and you can make that request, and this commission can direct us to do that. Yeah. Anything else on our end? Anything? Does anyone have any specific questions that we can ask to help you maybe understand more your property tax statement, or yeah? Will you speak into say your name?
My name is Jeff Martinez. I just moved here from Colorado
Okay.
less than 2 years ago, and I'm paying twice as much as I was paying there. And
And it is unfortunate. One of the unfortunate things for our community is almost 30% of the properties are non-taxable properties because they're nonprofit. So it spreads that burden out over fewer properties. So that's why the economic development that we're trying to bring industry in, and we're trying to bring additional businesses in, because they pay a different tax rate. They pay a higher tax rate than
they're paying
residential does.
taxes. The new businesses are going
Not
to
every
paying
new,
taxes?
not every new business does. There are some that qualify for tax abatements, but the
Temporary.
intent, those tax abatements are temporary. Usually they're tombstoned at 10 years. We have recently implemented a ladder policy so that we are not doing 100% tax abatements all the time, that we're actually being strategic in the way that we approach tax abatements. And when you have a prime employer come in, they hope, and we are starting to see movement of other businesses co-locating around that large employer. And those are not applying for the tax abatements. Those are not qualifying for the tax abatements because maybe they don't have the same infrastructure spend or the same employment goals. But together, all ships rise, and we're trying to lay the groundwork now that we can reap the rewards down the road. But
Well, it's my understanding that this has been ongoing for a few years. From what my neighbors have said, their taxes have been going up for years and years, and it's always under the understanding that next year it's going to go down. So,
well, I don't know that anybody on this body has said next year it's going down.
Yeah.
No.
And that is a product of their I would assume that their house, from a city standpoint, because there are 3 levies. There's the city, the county, and the school district. The city has not, I think 4 years ago, property taxes were raised, but is it the last 3? That we've kept it kept it the same?
Went down 1 last year.
We went down 1. So what I'm trying to say is if they said that their property taxes increased, I'm assuming that the value of their home increased, so they're paying that property tax value based on the increase on the home. The good thing is that if there is anything good of them paying more property taxes, is that if they sell their home tomorrow, they could get more, they should be able to get more
I'm in
funding.
Quail Creek too, and I don't get my snow plowed either, so I don't see any benefit to it.
What street do you live on?
Quail,
On Quill?
North Quail Court.
That's not a main thoroughfare, it's not
Quail
plowed, is it? Right.
None of the streets in any our subdivision are plowed.
Right.
No,
Yeah, we had,
no. Are all your streets plowed?
no,
No.
unless they're
I
part of the
I live on
route.
12th Street,
Yeah.
and yes, 12th Street
Yeah.
is a main
What about all the-
thoroughfare, and
I live
it's
on 12th.
plowed.
I moved off of a emergency route, and
Do we
boy, I
have
missed
plows?
that. It was plowed. Mine isn't.
Do we
I
have
live on a
plows?
main
Does the city
thoroughfare,
have
and it
plows?
gets plowed. But
If you
that's
live on a
because-
main thoroughfare on a route, yeah. Well, see, I'd like to give some perspective on that because I actually be the finance director in Park City, and they do not plow if you're not on a thoroughfare or on their snow route. And that's very typical in other cities. I wanted to say that to say we do not have the resources to plow every city street. If that is something that you would like to see changed, you come to this commission. They're listening. They are listening. And if that's something we want to do, we need to hire more street employees. We need to hire more equipment because currently, how many staff do we have plowing? We had a lot of snow this year.
Yeah, we have about 30, 35 people in the street, and we usually pull people in from water and sanitation occasionally too to help with that.
Okay. And they keep up our snow route plowed, correct?
Yeah, we have a snow route that we do maintain.
Okay.
Is there a place where you can see an itemized proposed budget for the city? Because I would love to know what the city, how the city spends money.
We have, so the city is required to publish a state, this is the summary page, but there is an actual full-blown Excel spreadsheet, like a document that's published. Do we put that on our website after it's published?
There's a quarterly,
The quarterly, do we put the whole budget out?
the whole budget goes out.
The state form?
No, we don't do the state form.
Could we, is that something we could? Sure, yeah. We could put that on the website. Yeah. It's, you can actually pull it right now if you wanted to without even us doing anything. The Kansas Department of Administration, municipal budgets, so it's KDOA and then municipal budgets, and then it lists every budget for every city in the state of Kansas. And it's this form, and you can see fund by fund how much we spend in each department. So, yeah.
I would say the bigger problem is that we've stagnated from a growth standpoint over the last 50 years. If you take a look at the city of Hutchinson, their their assessed valuation is like $421 million. Ours is 177. What that means, 178, I guess is closer. What that means is for every mill, and ours is 72.383. For every mill, we generate, it's that number times $178,000. If they had the same mill, they would generate 2.5 times what we would generate. So we've stagnated from a growth standpoint, and we've identified that as a priority. And I know some people don't understand tax abatements, but what a tax abatement is when someone comes to town, you're not currently getting any tax from them anyway. The ground that they buy and build on and eventually are taxed on, they're already paying some real estate tax, and they have to continue to pay that amount, so we don't ever experience a decrease in revenue because we sold a piece of ground, a prospect that eventually built and is going to increase our assessed valuation. But you just take GAF, for example. We have worked really hard in order to get new companies to come to town, and we've really been, in my eyes, unbelievably successful. The hard part is from the time that they make the commitment until the time they start paying taxes. It's usually maybe a 12-year period because it may take them 2 years to do their build-out. Well, GAF, that's somewhere around a $379 million project, and the building part of that's they're gonna be paying taxes on. Say that's $100 million. What would their tax revenue? What? If our valuation is 177 million and they increase it by 100 million, that's when we're going to, and I won't be on the commission when that happens, so somebody else is going to look like they were a genius when that happens. But we are really hyper focused on increasing our assessed valuation, but during that 10 or 12 year period, we're having to put in roads to service them. We're having to put in water and sewage infrastructure. There is a cost to that assessed valuation. So you only hope. Our plan was that maybe once after we got the industrial part of the growth going, that people would start building houses, and we've actually been quite successful on the houses. So we have had we need new stuff to add to the assessed valuation to give you relief. I mean, just your value going up, that still costs you more. So, but if you take a look at how much your value went up and what the inflation rate was, it's fairly close to the same amount. So the city. I can't think of anything that we've had it under other than Coney. We haven't added a lot of stuff, you know.
That's not an add. That was a realignment of a position we already had, so it's not new.
And for me, I think that's great because in order to attract business, you've got to do something with your culture. And when I see that, I actually have had friends say that popped up on their Facebook page, and they think that's cool as heck. You know, so if we can get people to move here because we did something that looks stupid to some people, then you know that's a good thing. But our biggest problem has been a lack of growth. It hasn't been that we've been spending too much money. And I'm getting ready to on my commission Facebook page. I've had several people contact me, and they want to understand this a lot more. There's a couple people here that was in a class. We actually are training your future leaders too, and I have one of them running against me this time, which he may beat me, he may not, you know. But anyway, I think it's important that we do things that increase the assessed valuation. The actual spending, it may seem excessive, but I would tell you, we scrub that like you can't believe. We go over every item, and I welcome anyone that wants to go in and look. If you see something you think that we don't need, ask us, because we'll tell you
And it's
why
not,
we're doing it. Yeah.
and there's other opportunities there, and I've challenged staff and leadership and kind of almost a service-based budget approach. There are some things that maybe we're doing at a gold standard that our community doesn't want done at a gold standard. There maybe are things, i.e. snow removal, that we're doing at a bronze standard that you want us to elevate to a different standard. We need to hear this in the springtime before we're deep into the budgets, not in August. I need your guys' help next spring to bring these ideas up. Where do you think we're over providing to the community, and where do you think we're under providing to the community? And then it's this body's responsibility to balance that. But we got to hear from you.
We do listen, and we do care.
We do. The staff cares.
The staff cares. Yeah.
Sir. If you come up, state your name, and go ahead and shoot.
My name's John Friesen. I was wondering, the tax exemption between Quick Trip and GF, the roofing company, is that the same, or is it vary by
Quick Trip didn't get it.
Quick Trip didn't get a tax
Oh, they didn't get it?
No.
No.
Oh, and the other one is what, 10-year?
10-year on the improvement. So the land is still being taxed at what it was being taxed at before.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
So it's only abatement on the improvements.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
I think it's important to note, too, that residential's taxed at 11.5%, and businesses and industry will be taxed at 25%.
Yeah, it's a big
So
deal.
when those businesses all come on the tax rolls, then that 25% is going to be a whole lot more, and that brings a certain comfort level, if you will, to the community. Then it's kind of a buffer.
Is that maybe what's deterring business from coming in?
There's been a whole lot happen over the last 5-6 years is
Yeah.
deterring business, the landscape, the market, all sorts of things and everything. But success begats more success, and we're seeing that with the GAF and other aligned entities locating to the area.
And don't forget, Hillsborough Industries is out there.
Yeah, they're looking at scheduling.
And there's some
They're ribbon cutting
expansions that
the-
have taken place in other
Or are
businesses.
they adding to what they have in Hillsborough, or are they closing
Yes.
Hillsborough?
No.
Yes, they're
They're
adding.
adding. They're going to bring one of their trailer lines here.
Oh, okay.
They needed production capacity, so it's an
But they
additional
got an
site.
abatement too, so that's a long play. You know, economic development's a long play.
Yeah.
But you got to start sometime, or
Yeah, you
you're
gotta
just
do
going to
something.
fade away. Yeah.
Okay, thank
The other thing to keep in mind in this whole discussion too is that, it is a long period of 10 years where they don't have to pay for the improvement to their property. However, once it comes online, it goes on into perpetuity. And so that's the long game that we're playing here, so that if they're here for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we're getting that tax return, those tax payments that entire time. It's just that, the chicken and the egg thing, where meanwhile, before that comes online, we have to pay for all this infrastructure items, the streets, the sewer, the water, all the things. And that's when it weighs on the homeowners here, when your property tax goes up like that. But, the more businesses come online, the more relief is going to come to all the rooftops of the homeowners. And that's kind of our goal, our end goal here. We want to have less and less pressure on. I get it. My taxes went up. By the way, my street does not get snow plowed either.
My driveway gets plowed.
But
remove all the snow into my driveway and I can't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Been there.
Me too.
That's right. So we all live in the same city, and we all have to pay the same dues.
Yeah.
We're not special up here. We just try and make the very best decisions we can. And I assure you, the 5 of us really do care for this community. And it's not like we just willy-nilly, oh yeah, just raise that 5%. Oh yeah. No, we really do, as has been mentioned. We go over every line item and we suggest things. Could we cut that? Well, if we do that, then it's going to affect this and that over there. So there's lots of discussion that we have in great detail.
Can I ask you about the revenues on the new bridges going over I-35? Like, what percent did the city and the county and the state pay for on that for GAF coming in?
That's all
Oh,
stated.
yeah, we had a match, go ahead.
We had to pay $300 and some thousand.
Okay.
It was our match. It was like 10%, and they paid everything else.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
No, it's not. It was actually a
Oh, I was
blessing.
just curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
I'll leave you alone as soon as I finish this. Bottom line, that far out deal, when we're gonna get that break, you keep telling me about. Bottom line, that all depends on the mill levy, doesn't it? If it doesn't lower, our taxes will never go down.
If
Is
it
that
doesn't
true or
lower,
false?
if it doesn't lower, Joe, you should get the pitchforks out. You really should. I mean, just GF alone probably will be pretty.
Because I guarantee my house value is gonna keep traveling up
Yeah.
during all this time. So the only
Yeah.
way I ever see it getting lower is if the mill levy comes down.
Mhm.
And if the mill levy comes down, it means,
A larger tax base.
right, a larger tax rate or a reduction in services or a combination of both. And that is definitely a conversation that this commission has every single year, so.
So but part of my point being is the public needs to understand.
Yeah.
The only time we're gonna ever get lower taxes is if the mill levies come down.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a
Or,
good statement.
or, or even worse, the value of your house goes down.
Yeah.
Well,
That is,
I don't look for any atomic
Just
bombs
quit
to hit
painting
my
it, Joe.
house, but, you know,
Yeah.
the only other downside to all this is if I see this mill levy go through, I see the school's gonna have a real hard time asking for $50 million.
Yep. Appreciate it, Joe.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
thank you, Joe.
Lori?
Lori Hartke. I would just suggest to everyone that they, A, come to the meetings so that they know what you guys are doing and know what you're talking about, and B, come to the budget meetings, which are usually before or in the morning. It's in the paper anyway.
Usually in May. In May.
In May.
3 months, 3 or 4 months.
Stretch it out, usually over May with workshops.
And if they don't want to come to the meeting, isn't there a way to watch it on a computer?
Yep.
There are people
Maybe
doing that right
Denise
now.
or somebody can tell people how to do that. I don't use computers, so I can't tell them
Go to the city's Facebook page, and it's streaming as we speak.
as we speak. Hello. Okay, so that's your answer. Then you know what's going on.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim Goodman, and this is my first city council meeting. So trying
Thank
to,
you for
thank
coming.
you. Look, I don't envy any of you your jobs. Thank you for being willing to do this. And also, I just want to say, like, I'm grateful that we have a great police force and a great fire force. Like, thrilled that our tax dollars are supporting that. So just want to say that. Also want to say that this year I will pay almost $9,000 on my property taxes, which seems obscene for an 1,800 square foot house, ranch house that has a finished basement. And so I think, you know, we're getting to the level of so many taxes that people won't want to move into town here. So if our goal is really community development, we have to make it affordable to live here. And right now it just isn't. I don't know if any of you are on the community boards today, but there were so many small business owners who were like, we're working 2 jobs. We can't afford to like ever close, you know, we're going out and we're soliciting people to come in. And are we gonna kill our small businesses just to bring in a few large employers, which is great. I do want to see these large employers come in, but I think we need to remember that this is a very diverse community with small business owners who probably aren't getting the same tax breaks and who are really, really hurting in this economy. And I would say too that, well, it's a difficult situation. You're in an intractable problem with a kind of a school district that's really struggling. But I think that's another reason to be concerned about spending too much time building infrastructure on housing. When do people want to move in here to live? I just really would love to encourage us to think about like making this a more affordable place to live. Again, thank you for all you're doing. I appreciate the fact that you're willing to hear from us, and I just want to
Thank you.
put that out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I would ask the room that housing has come up multiple times in these conversations already. We probably should have had the housing report, which is item 6. We probably should have had that before this, because we've had some great successes with regards to new house builds and increased housing stock and everything. So,
We have, we are about to kick off our city comprehensive plan, which will include an engagement process with key stakeholders in our community. If you are interested in being part of that group, I believe our communications director is going to put something out where you can sign up to do that. So please, please do that, because that will be funneled to our commission and will help guide this process. Now, it's a very high-level document, but it'll housing, making living here more affordable, those things I know will surface to the top. Secondly, I just wanted to share with you too that just as much as a resident myself, including hate paying property taxes, we as an organization run the same issue. We run into the same problem where we don't want to continue raising property taxes. That's not our will. You know, most of us live in this, half of us live in this community. And we are trying to do the best with the resources that we have to keep our departments going. And so from a city standpoint, we are continuing to have these conversations at the state level, and the legislature is actively working on trying to figure out a plan to give that reprieve to cities, because cities do need to function. They need to run safe and adequate departments, not on lean resources. Lean resources are people who are understaffed, who don't have the resources they need to do their jobs adequately. And that's happening across the state, across the region. And last year, I believe they took off, that led to the removal of the is it 1.5 mills?
I think it was 1.
1 mil?
One.
For this, which is the school portion on your property tax bill. But there's a request to see more. Like, how can the state assist cities in ensuring that they're functioning, but at the same time, not passing that burden on to their taxpayers? And I want you to know we are front and center. We are communicating that to our state, and we're doing the best we can. So I wanted to share that with you, that, yeah, we see we're also frustrated. Like, what can we do? This is one of our main revenue sources, and it's on our taxpayers' back. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Does that help a little bit? I mean, at least you know, not that you like it, but that you do have a better understanding, because I think our citizens should have the very best understanding possible.
Any other comments? Jeff? Coming up to the microphone so that the interwebs can hear you.
Okay, how does the enrollment compare to last year's enrollment? Has it, as far as the complete school system, has it increased? Is it the same or decreased, or how's it going?
I don't know.
Oh, I know.
I don't know.
I think
It's
it
been trending
declined.
downward.
It went down a
It
little
was
bit.
trending down. I was wondering if it's still doing that, or?
Probably.
not sure.
We need more babies.
Yeah.
In
I mean, it's a
one of
long-term.
one of the public meetings we some of us go to, the superintendent of schools says that this is probably going to be the trend for the next 2 or 3 years. Isn't that kind of what he says, Pam?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah. So it's not just here; it's happening all over the state in
That's
various
going,
areas.
what, up or down?
Down.
It's going down. That's
going
what
down.
That was the last that I saw.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
But if we don't improve our schools, we're going to continue to lose people to Valley Center that builds new schools and continues to up their education process compared to some of our bathrooms in Chisholm are from 1959. So I encourage you to go get a tour at the high school and the middle school to see what the needs are.
I can't get in.
You call them, they'll let you in. And they'll be glad to give you a tour.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I think we'll move on. I need a motion to consider the resolution.
G134, I move to approve.
1364.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion?
No.
We'll do this on a roll call vote. Denise?
Yeah. So I will start with Commissioner Cry,
Yes.
Commissioner Valentine,
Yes.
Mayor Stinnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Kane.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a unanimous vote.
Budget is approved. Next item this evening is...
Need to close the public
Oh,
hearing.
now we'll close the public hearing.
Okay.
Now, did we go to the next item?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for keeping me legit. All right, next item is the annual housing report. Zach?
Hold on, we need regular budget hearing.
See, now I asked you to keep me legit. That was
So
the
that
R&R.
was all A.
5B now.
They kind of go together. It's all for the same thing, but we have to
Okay,
do
thank you.
different things.
We appreciate you keeping us on track.
So now we'll open the public hearing for the budget.
This is, just want to say that the commission has worked through several budget sessions, and this budget is the result of that work. The total budget expenditures for '26 are $62,775,000. This includes $1.3 million of reserves, so the actual expenditures are $61 million, $376,000. As a service-based industry, the city needs to hire and retain good personnel to manage the workload across all departments, and this budget provides for an increase in wages and benefits to implement the classification and salary study. It also continues funding our external city partners and paying for the rising cost of all commodities. As always, city staff will continue to seek any cost-saving measures that are available to them. But we do ask that you pass this 2026 budget.
This is a simple motion, yes.
It is an open public hearing, so if anyone wants to speak to it.
So anybody wants to speak on this? I'm just as confused as you guys. All right. Well, if we don't have any more discussion, we'll go ahead and close the public. And then we'll consider adoption of the budget. That's just a simple motion. All right. So call for a motion.
I so move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign?
No.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Now we're done with that. All right. Zach, you're up. Annual hazard report.
All right, no pressure. Yeah, I uploaded it. It's a 2025 annual housing report. Apologies. All right, we ready? Go ahead. Mennonite Housing, also known as Harvest Point, is a low-income housing tax credit, also known as a LIHTC project, developed by Mennonite Housing. It includes 16 duplexes, or 32 units, or 32 doors, however you want to look at that number, with a valuation of a little over $6 million. The project is specifically designed to serve moderate-income seniors and support Newton's efforts to expand accessible and affordable senior housing options. While this is this project, phase one, finished up about this time last year. And so also in the pipeline is Mennonite Housing Rehabilitation Services had secured the 2026 LIHTC award for $436,000, along with a matching Kansas Affordable Housing Tax Credit of $436,000 to support the construction of Harvest Point Phase 2. The project will add 28 new senior housing units or doors. Expanding upon the success of the original Harvest Point development, the investment continues to strengthen Newton's supply of affordable housing and accessible housing for older residents, meeting a critical community need. On to Fox Ridge. It continues to expand with a mix of housing types, including 19 single-family homes, 38 duplexes, and 11 triplexes. To date, 32 certificates of occupancy have been issued out of the total permits pulled, reflecting steady progress and strong demand. Permit fees collected total approximately $85,000 to date, not including trade permits. The project remains Newton's largest active residential development, offering diverse housing options to meet market needs. Units are leasing immediately upon occupancy approval, reflecting strong market demand. Staff has actively promoted Fox Ridge to major employers, including GAF and Newton Medical Center, and will continue this outreach for future developments. Moving on to the housing pipeline. Sand Creek Station Golf Course area developments, a project new and old. Bannister Real Estate, who has the corner lots at 24th and Anderson, approximately 70 lots. They have it listed currently online for $799,000. However, the developer's weighing his options for RHID versus special assessment financing options. RHID is the Reinvestment Housing Improvement District, for those who do not speak acronyms. Lang Real Estate has acquired 30 acres south of the clubhouse and is in the pre-development phase, including surveying and concept planning. The plan anticipates up to 65 buildable lots with infrastructure completion targeted for Q2 of 2026. Occidental property. The Occidental development team is actively exploring market trends and evaluating various options for the next phase of their development. Discussions are underway regarding the potential inclusion of a housing component within the development. While plans are still in the early exploratory stage, the site remains a key opportunity for future residential growth. Additional details will be shared as they become available. 129th Street or 129th West 6th Street apartments. That's next to Back Alley Pizza. For those of you who want to know where that's at, the apartments are anticipated for completion in 2025, and will add 8 new units. Excuse me, to Newton's new units to Newton's downtown housing stock. The project includes 6 one-bedroom apartments and 2 two-bedroom apartments, with all utilities included. Rental rates are expected to range between $1,000 to $1,200 per month. The development received support through the Kansas Department of Commerce's Residential Opportunities on Main Street, also known as the Rooms Grant, furthering the city's efforts to revitalize downtown and expand housing options. The next two are extension of care. Prairie View has submitted a proposal to construct 3 duplexes, 3 duplex units. The valuation is to be determined as part of its ongoing expansion of care services. The project will serve as an extension of the existing campus. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of both the preliminary and final plat, which will go before you all in about 15 or 20 minutes for consideration of final approval. Pending commission approval, infrastructure work and permitting will begin later this year. Hope Estates, again, extension of care, is a low-income housing tax credit project with a valuation, total valuation of $7.8 million. The project will include a mix of multifamily housing types, 6 duplexes, 2 triplexes, and 1 apartment building totaling 20 units. Construction is expected to begin in late fall, and once complete, Hope Estates will provide much-needed affordable housing options to meet community needs. The Newton Housing Authority, staff reach out to the Newton Housing Authority to request updates on their 5-year CIP plan. At this time, no response has been received. We remain hopeful to include their submission and any project updates in the Q3 housing report. KHRC legislative updates. The Kansas Housing Resource Corporation has issued several updates that impact housing development statewide. House Bill 2289, signed April 24, 2025, revised the Kansas Affordable Housing Tax Credit Program. Changes include new award limits and phase out of the 4% federal credit projects after November 15, 2025, and a full program sunset after 2028. KHRC has amended its 2025 qualified allocation plan accordingly. Funding availability. KHRC has announced 2025 funding availability for multifamily rental housing through HOME, National Housing Trust Fund, and federal and state LIHTCs. Focus on rural housing, programs like the Moderate Income Housing, or MIH, and Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credit continue to support development in rural communities. Ongoing initiatives, KHRC continues to administer the Community Services Block Grant and Home ARP funds to support individuals experiencing homelessness or housing instability. Then, next slide. Going on to the Wichita market, just to compare, these are market trends sourced from WABA, WSU, and our other regional sources. The Wichita housing market continues to show steady price growth amid supply constraints. The current median sale price is $263,000, representing a 5% increase from last year. While home sales are down 3% year over year, the market remains highly competitive, with homes selling in roughly 11 days, and often at or above list price. A decade-long construction slump has contributed to an estimated shortfall of 17,000 single-family homes, creating ongoing affordability and availability challenges. Elevated mortgage rates are further impacting buyer activity, though demand remains strong. And then I've highlighted a couple bullet points to go along there. I want to point out that while the median sale price in Wichita market area is $263,000, the Newton median sale price is $195,000. The land bank and infill opportunities. The Newton Land Bank continues to advance infill development as part of the city's adopted strategic plan. A recent success includes the acquisition and redevelopment of 118 South Kansas Avenue, now serving as an expanded parking lot for Carlos's Kitchen, supporting the small business growth. Over the next 12 months, the land bank will pursue additional property acquisitions through sheriff sales and targeted foreclosures on parcels encumbered by liens. Acquired properties will be prioritized for redevelopment and marketed to builders, developers, and nonprofit partners such as Habitat for Humanity to create new housing opportunities. These efforts reflect the city's ongoing commitment to transforming underutilized lots into productive assets, strengthening neighborhoods, and encouraging reinvestment throughout Newton. In our housing recruitment activities, the Wichita Area Builders Association, the city continues to actively recruit housing developers and builders through a variety of outreach and engagement efforts. In February 2025, staff participated in the WABA Home Show, which provided valuable exposure and networking opportunities. We are already preparing to attend for the 2026 WABA Home Show, scheduled for January 30th through February 1st. Ongoing recruitment efforts include consistent outreach to builders and developers, offering guided tours of key development sites, and participating in builder and developer networking events throughout the region. We also remain engaged in WABA programming, attending meetings focused on legislative updates, building code development, and initiatives supporting the next generation of industry professionals. The United Way and Harvey of Marion County's Housing Coalition formed earlier this year. In August, staff participated in the Housing and Homelessness Coalition meeting, which highlighted regional models such as the McPherson Housing Coalition's Oak Arbor Cottages and Sutherland Estates. The coalition is exploring opportunities to utilize Newton's land bank properties, Newton land bank properties for future cottage-style communities, and discussed potential zoning changes to support affordable housing options. Short-term initiatives, including developing landlord-tenant handbooks with the city, compiling a directory of local landlords, and identifying contractors for accessibility improvements. These collaborations strengthen Newton's housing recruitment efforts by aligning nonprofit, public, and private partners towards shared community housing goals. These community efforts help to position Newton as an attractive place to invest and build, while keeping us informed and connected with the broader housing development community. And then to finish it up, next slide. Sorry.
I just wanted to point out that we're also be working through a new housing analysis and study through our comprehensive plan.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that in my notes. I added that to the slide. Thank you. The homeowners assistance programs, what we offer currently, we have the rehabilitation rebate program, known as the the neighborhood revitalization program, also known as the NRP. The neighborhood revitalization program offers property tax rebates for new construction or major improvements on residential, commercial, or industrial property. Eligible projects may qualify for up to 100% rebate on the increased property taxes for as long as 10 years. The other program we offer currently is the Rehabilitation Rebate Program, the RRP. This program helps preserve and improve older homes in Newton's core neighborhoods. Homeowners within the NRP boundaries may qualify for a rebate of up to 50% of the material cost, with a maximum of $1,000 for exterior improvements such as painting or guttering. Priority is given to homes along main arterial streets, owner-occupied or historic properties, and households with seniors, low-income homeowners, or first-time buyers. Why these programs matter? Newton's development assistance programs are designed to encourage reinvestment, enhance neighborhood vitality, and make it easier for residents and business to improve their properties. Whether you are building new, rehabilitating older housing, or improving a historic structure, these programs provide financial incentives that support your investment while strengthening the community. And I will answer any questions or provide clarification.
How many of those houses are going to be on the tax books, and how many's not?
The extension of care ones will not be on the tax rolls, but all of the Fox Ridge, which total will be 110 units, everything on, for what we're seeing right now, Lang hasn't, coming down the pipeline, Lang hasn't established whether if they're going to do an RHID or if they're going to do special assessments. Bannister Real Estate is kind of in the same, he's weighing the same methods, whether he's going to do an RHID or use traditional financing options. The 6th Street apartments, those will be on the tax rails. And what was the other? Mennonite Housing Harvest Point, they're not on the tax rails.
So if we're at 30%, why are we growing that 30%?
We need the housing.
Daniela, if I may.
Go ahead, yes.
This was a great question that actually got brought up to some of us as city staff here recently, working on another project. It's because if you might remember, if you've gone through a lot of the documents here at the city, that in 2019 we did a housing update, and it looked at the different types of housing that would be available and what we would need. And what they found out is we needed housing at all types and all price points. We needed everything. But kind of a world-changing event happened in 2020 with a pandemic. What happened during that time frame was that certain funding opportunities became available first. And so city staff pivoted to not lose out on those opportunities. So you'll see us taking this piece kind of as a low-hanging fruit to make sure that we captured this part of the market, because we knew we needed all of it. But this kind of felt like a once-in-a-career, lifetime opportunity to capture some of those funds for this community and fill that need, because we knew that that need was there. We also know that we're going to need in apartment buildings for new up-and-coming, kids graduating high school and college. We know that we're going to need executive homes. We know we're going to need lots of things. But those programs weren't available starting in 2020, 2021, as we were beginning to work the plan. So you'll notice that those are the projects not coming down the pipeline, but pretty much already finishing up in the pipeline, so that we can continue to move on to those different types.
If I may add, just so you're aware that this commission understands the ramifications of foregoing of that tax, and because there is a burden to the organization. I mean, there's more police services, more fire services, and we're not getting that that tax back to the coffers. So this commission made a point to let both of those projects that came forward, let them know, hey, this is, we want this housing, but I don't know that we can actually support it. And I believe we can support it from a perspective where we can say, hey, we'll forego, is it a fee waiver or?
Out of the two, we've had two that were listed on here that were low-income housing tax credit projects, and only one of their applications did we support with a fee waiver, and that is the Mennonite Housing Project. And we supported it at the fee waiver that this governing body felt was the best bang for the buck, so to speak, to complete a certain area and to have a good fill-in. The other one was supported just with a letter of support,
And
because of that fees.
And that housing project is a private housing project. It's not us putting it forward. They send their application to the state and it's supported privately. So it's, I guess, what I would say what the free market is putting out there.
Well, I know the housing out on First Street, and I can't think of the name of it. It's out next to the old Kmart building or whatever. My understanding is the only thing
It's
that
Mennonite
they
House.
generate is a water bill. That's all the taxpayer gets in coup for that.
Sales tax.
There's also franchise fees. There are some indirect collections from people living in those houses. Their kids go to school here, maybe their grandkids go to school here.
Part of me says, why are we giving up valuable tax-generating properties to bring in more lower housing?
Again, I think that's a larger piece of the puzzle where we knew in one of those pieces is that we needed affordable senior living, and this was an opportunity for this governing body to partner with a well-known not-for-profit to provide that. So sometimes we're not always looking at just a income, an expense sheet. We're looking at providing a service or a resource to the community. And we've heard time and time again that we needed some sort of affordable place for people that had lived there their whole lives to be able to retire into. So that was a need that we were able to fill. And again, the timing worked out with when their project could start, when the initiatives were made available, the funding. And as direct costs, it's been fairly small from this body to support those builds.
Percentage of people that are moving into these are from this community?
Over 80% are from the county.
Yeah. And we're getting some people moving out of their homes, and those are going on the market as first-time home for younger families, and then the seniors are being able to shed the responsibility of a home and a lawn and all of that. So there's a lot of ripple effects of these. Jason?
Follow-up question. Those
Hi.
people are,
Jason Miller. There have been complaints that property taxes affect elderly who are on fixed incomes, but what we've done with Mennonite Housing is provide housing where they're not actually hit with property tax increases. So we're providing a place people with a moderate income can move there, and they're not being hit by property tax increases. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a waiting list.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why they applied for the second phase to try and get that going, and HRC said yes to that project, so that's good.
I think that's, it could be said, and appreciate your comments, Joe, but it can be said that there are so many pieces of the community that we want to provide for. It's not just one. And so we have to sacrifice sometimes, just like Rebecca was saying. The funding was there at that time frame, and so we had to go with it knowing that, yeah, they're not going to be on the tax rolls, but now we can concentrate on other private neighborhoods that are going to be on the tax rolls. So there's just a lot. There's just a lot to consider when we're dealing with these kind of things.
All righty. Well, thank you for that housing update, Zach. Any other commissioners?
I have no questions.
All right. Well, we will move on to item 7 and to consider approval of a hotel incentive package. Zach?
Yes, we're bringing this back to you now, kind of in draft form with the new hotel development incentives to bring that up concurrently with a rebrand of existing or a remodel. What you have before you in your packet for the new hotel development, the proposed would be an industrial revenue bond or an IRB, industrial revenue bonds, 80% tax abatement for 10 years. Community Improvement District, also known as the CID, at 2% sales tax for project cost. That you can extend that out to 22 years. And transient guest tax, TGT, 2% for up to 10 years. Put some basic eligibility in there, $5 million minimum investment, 60+ rooms or commission approved or a commission approved boutique hotel. In your packet, again, you kind of have that draft of the incentive programs and plans. I can tell you right now, the going rate for one door of a hotel room is anywhere between $150,000 to $200,000. So just to figure that a 60-room hotel will definitely cover that $5 million minimum investment. The other piece to this is the existing hotel and rebrand model. Again, provide them with IRBs. I've contacted our bond counsel to see what tools we could throw at them for existing, because they've already gone vertical. So then you're looking at all the lateral movements. So we would recommend IRBs with a rebate of 100% abatement for 10 years. Now, that's not 100% of all the taxes. That's just 100% of the improvements of the already established hotel. The Community Improvement District, if they don't already have one, the CID, we'd recommend providing them with a 2% sales tax for project cost, and then the transient guest tax, just to mirror, give them 2% for up to 5 years. With an eligibility requirement of $1 million minimum investment, full rebrand or major renovation. And then in the draft form that you have in your packet under 3, the general provisions for hotel incentives, I would just like to maybe do some, if you adopt this, we would look that the city will require benefit cost analysis to demonstrate a positive return on public investment. That should be worded that the city will require a benefit cost analysis to demonstrate a positive return on public investment. And then every incentive will come before you. You will have the final say. So it will be a case by case. You are the end all on that. And I'm happy to answer any questions or provide clarification, talk this through with you.
So the key is this is just a framework that could be part of our website, part of somewhere where somebody can look if they're thinking of putting a hotel here or whatever. It's not a mandatory, we're going to do this. It has to come before this body before it's decided. We will do the cost-benefit analysis. Thank you for putting in the existing build hotel remodel. We don't want to lose sight of existing properties and only focus on new properties. You know, this is that double-edged sword. Our proximity to Wichita is good and it's bad. If we don't have rooms, people will just go down to Wichita for rooms. And if they're down there, they're going to eat at those restaurants, you know, and events are going to locate down there rather than here, even though, you know, we've had the Fast Pitch League run out of hotel rooms. We've had the golf tournament run out of hotel rooms. The hospital's asking for hotel rooms. We're hearing it from all aspects, you know, so I think it's good to at least have a framework.
Absolutely.
Were you going to say something, Rod? I thought Rod was going to say.
No. I had a quick question, Zach. Could you maybe speak a little bit to the requirement of it having to be a nationally or regionally recognized flag or a unique boutique brand? Is there a
Well, the reasoning, people recognize names and brands, and there's people who are brand loyal, so you want that. You don't want your one-offs. You might run into that with your boutique hotels, but that's not necessarily an issue with a boutique hotel.
Thank you.
No. Come on up. Come on up.
Speaking of the hotels and stuff over there, close to, what's that? It's over there, south of Broadway. Huddle, used to be the Huddle House. What's going on with that building? Anybody know?
It's actually getting listed on the market again. Just talked to a realtor. They've been cleaning up the property. The Huddle House is going back on the market. I believe the list price is going to be $350,000.
Oh, okay.
Is that with or without air conditioning?
I've
seen those units get
which
torn out of
version?
there.
There's probably 4 different units that have been put up there with people stealing them. So
it's terrible.
Be a good place for another hotel. Huh?
It would be. There's another lot there that's available, and those two combined would be enough for a hotel to squeeze in there. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. simple motion to adopt it as an amendment to the Economic Development Incentive Policy. I'd call for that motion.
I move that we approve.
Second.
A second.
We have a motion in a couple of seconds. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we need a,
Yeah, Mayor, prior to this next item, item 8, we would ask for a short executive session with staff and the city commission. Under attorney-client, I gave you a script for that item, and I think maybe we could start with about 10 minutes, come back at 8:25. We may need to extend depending on where the discussions go.
Okay. Want me to read it?
sure.
Move that the city commission recess into executive session to conduct discussions with legal counsel. The justification for closing the meeting is to consult with the city attorney to discuss matters privileged under the attorney-client relationship. And the time and place at which the open meeting shall resume is 8:25 here in city commission chambers.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
from our executive session where no action was taken. We will resume the regular agenda. Next item is to consider a demolition reimbursement agreement with BNSF Railway. Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. You guys have had this item before on prior agendas. This is an agreement with BNSF associated with the demolition of 320 North Main here in Newton. It's a property that's owned by the city. We're doing demolition. This agreement calls for certain reimbursement from BNSF for cleanup costs associated with the property. The difference in the version that you've seen from your prior meeting is essentially they're now agreeing to pay for the additional transportation costs of the special waste, not just those disposal costs. The agreement does still have a cap on a 250-ton maximum. City staff's been negotiating this with BNSF, recommends approval, and I would stand for any questions. This does not cover all of the demolition costs, but it would cover a certain portion associated with the special waste that needs to be removed from the property.
Thank you, Chris.
Uh-huh.
Commissioners, any discussion? I do want to say and thank staff and, well, both on the engineering side as well as on the legal side, that's been quite a hill to climb to put all this together, and I just want to express gratitude for all that work. So.
I would move we approve the contract as presented.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to receive bids and awards and award the contract for the demolition of the property located at 320 North Main. Ed?
Thank you, Commission. So we rebid this project August 21st. The low bid, we had two bidders. The low bidder was Donlinger and Sons for $160,000. We would recommend awarding the bid to Donlinger and Sons.
Thank you, sir. It's quite a price difference.
Boy, there is.
Any exposure on that? Any concern from engineer estimate? Did we have an engineer estimate on that?
No, it was a budgetary number that we shot for.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that estimate is in line with what we kind of had projected, and we don't believe we have any
Correct.
exposure. Okay.
Correct.
I would move we take the Donlinger bid for,
Ready for a motion?
what's that? Yeah.
All right. So we have a motion to accept an award, receive the bids, and award to Donlinger for $160,000. Do you want a second?
I second.
Awesome. Well, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Denise, did that give you everything you needed for that? All right.
Good.
Next item this evening is to consider a request to close West 6th Street on September 27th for the 19th annual chili cook-off and for the use of picnic tables, trash containers, and electricity.
Yes, this is a request from the United Way to have their chili cook-off again on West 6th Street. They would be closing from Main basically to Poplar. They'll come in a little bit with that, but they are also requesting the use of picnic tables, trash cans, and electricity at that location, and that's why this is coming to you. Staff has looked at this and has no questions and is okay with the request, and I would ask that you approve this.
All righty, thank you.
I so move that we approve.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to consider an RFQ consultant selection for the Federal Safe Streets for All grant agreement. Ed?
Yes, we sent out RFQs to several consultants last month. A committee was brought together, including somebody from Harvey County, and the committee kind of scored and rated all the RFQs based on the requirements of the grant. The committee determined that PEC would be the best to provide the services for this grant, administration of this grant. There's just a reminder that there is no cost to the city for this because we partnered with the county on it. And so what we're recommending is to approve the federal grant and allow the Director of Public Works to sign any paper associated with the grant, and then also approve the agreement with PEC to move forward with the next steps.
And the key thing about the Safe Streets for All is that's multimodal. That's not just cars, that's bikes, that's walk, that's
correct.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, awesome.
We need 2 motions for this, or?
Rich? No, I'm hearing some comments over here of what SS4A is and what it's going to do for our organization, for the city as a whole.
So
Maybe
you want to talk to it? Or
I'll defer to Ed if that's okay.
You want to talk to it real quick? Give us a brief what it is.
It stands for Safe Streets for All. And what it is a grant that puts together a plan that looks at various locations in the city and the county and evaluates anything from, do you need bicycle paths here? Do we need crosswalks at the signals downtown? Any number of things that have to do with transportation. And so it puts together a plan so the city can then work off of that plan in the future for infrastructure and determining how we want to move forward.
So it gives us access, and it gives us free access because it's a Fed grant. So it gives us free access to subject matter experts in regards to transportation, safety for biking, walking, cars, et cetera, to establish a plan for our community that then staff and this body can direct to solve those problems that maybe come out of that study. So, yes, but. So transportation for seniors as far as walkability of our downtown with regards to seniors, yes. Providing transportation services to seniors, no. So it is about making our walkways, roadways, and bike paths safe, not conducting transportation on those. Right. Yeah. Something domes. What are those things called?
Truncated
domes. That's what they're called. Yeah. So that is for our low vision neighbors. Yeah, that's what those truncated domes are at those crosswalks.
Somebody was saying that the design is for those that are blind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty. So with that, I believe who was putting forth that motion? Were you putting forth a motion? You were asking a question.
Well,
It can be
one motion?
It can be one motion to.
I can, okay,
yes.
yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay, I motion that we approve the FHWA grant and allow the Director of Public Works to sign documents associated with the grant, and approve to enter into an agreement with the PEC, allow it to move forward with the next steps.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. The motion carries. Sir?
Yeah, prior to this item as well, item 12, building code updates, we would ask for another executive session. I have a script for you there. It'd be under attorney-client, and I think we could knock it out in 10 minutes, try and come back at 8:45.
I move that the City Commission recess in the executive session to conduct discussions with legal counsel. The justification for closing the meeting is to consult with the city attorney to discuss matters privileged under the attorney-client relationship, and the time and place at which the open meeting shall resume is 8:45.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. You don't get to our executive session where no action was taken. We will resume our regularly scheduled programming. All right, so, sir?
I think Rebecca.
Commissioners, we just asked that you would table this item. We have a few other things that still need to be discussed.
Do you need a motion for that? I'd call for a motion to table item 12, building code updates.
I move that we table.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is item 13, Planning Commission. Chris?
Thank you. And this is another follow-up Planning Commission zoning item for 126 South Pine. This, as you recall, was part of the prior rezoning for the adjacent area from our last meeting for Cornelius Gardens. Public hearing was held on 8/4 with the Public Planning Commission, and they voted unanimously to change the zoning from a PO to an R1. The materials are in your packet. If you're agreeable to that, it would be 2 motions. The first would be a motion to receive that recommendation, and then the second motion would be to approve the zoning through an ordinance that's in your packet. That's a picture of the property, the last piece to complete that full change from a PO to an R1. It's the spot that was left off the initial application. Stand for any questions, so would staff.
I would move we receive the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. And motion carried. Ordinance number?
Yes, that would be 5176-25.
I move we approve ordinance number 5176-25.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item, I think Ed's going to take this one, eh?
Yeah, I'll take it, but I may have to get a little help from Chris. So this is a recommendation to receive the final plat for Prairie View from the Planning Commission. And we would ask that you approve this contingent on staff approving no protest and public access agreements.
And just to add some color to
Oh,
that,
this is that
staff's been
yeah.
working with them on a couple documents that I think we're probably close on finalizing. So should you be okay with the plat, we ask that motion to be contingent on that staff approval by Ed. I think staff can work through the details on those documents.
So I'd call for a motion to receive the recommendation of Planning Commission for final plat of Prairie View.
I move that we receive the recommendation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
But do we need a second one?
And then,
I motion we consider approval for the final plat for Prairie View Edition.
And that's where we
applicant
would
for
just
Chris Brown?
want that contingency on Ed's approval of those final documents.
so
We
you
could add that to your motion.
add that as a friendly modification to your motion. Chris just tweaked it a bit, so.
Do I need to say that?
Nope,
Oh, okay.
we got you.
I was like, don't
Second.
ask me to remember everything you just said right
good.
now.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second from Commissioner Cry. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. All righty. Next item this evening is to receive plans and specifications, set bid date for KLP rail extension. Ed?
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. With the KLP rail extension, this is needed for the JF project and expansion there in the industrial park. So the construction plans are ready, they're complete. We're ready to go to a competitive bidding process, and we would ask that you would approve that bid time and date of September 25th at 11:30 a.m.
And call for a motion to approve the plans and specifications, set the bid date as presented.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. All righty. And we have one more executive session, because why not?
We have one more in the first.
Oh, I had it check marked off already. Oh, Ed, he wants to talk more. Receive an update on the First Street water tanks and spheroid painting project.
Yeah, so just wanted to provide the commission with an update on the project. The First Street tank construction, the tanks have been built and they are fully operational. As part of that project, once the tanks were completed and operational, we would move into the painting and minor repair on the two spheroid water towers that we have, one located on 17th Street behind the high school, and then another one on Spencer Road. And so with that being said, I had our engineer, PEC, update their proposal for engineering, and it did go up in cost a little bit from $27,000 to $29,250. But I don't anticipate the estimated cost to do this, the rest of this project, to exceed more than $600,000. So would just ask for approval and be able to update the agreement, for me to sign the agreement for PEC. I should mention too, when we get the plans and specs together on this project, they'll be coming to you at a later date for approval.
So at this point, we need to call for a motion to approve the updated engineering agreement and allow staff to sign.
So moved.
We
I
have a-
second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. All right. Now we have another executive session.
And we don't anticipate any action after that executive session. I don't know if you want to go around the horn or not, but no action to be taken after.
You guys want to speak now?
I'll forever hold your peace. It's been a long night, and thank you for all the patience that many of you've exhibited, as well as those who were here and have left. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I love the way we interacted with the people that attended the meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't make much money, but we do work for you guys. So we do appreciate your concerns. We do care.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that.
Danielle?
Two things. One, I just want to thank staff for all their hard work on the budget. This is our finance director's last budget update, if you will. She's not leaving yet, but this is her last presentation. So I appreciate her and her staff, because this is a 6-month, a year-long process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other item is, I know Brian has an update today on 826, so I maybe would defer to him to give an update.
All right, well, we finally got our AIP grant. It did come in, so we are funded. The good news is that the original grant for the airport improvement program from the FAA was supposed to be $3.2 million. It actually came at $3.6 million. So they did add some money to that. As you recall, back in July when we talked about this, originally our budget was $512,000. So it was originally about a $5.12 million, and at 10%, we were looking for both municipalities to split that $512,000. After we bid construction and the bids came in over what we had initially estimated for that, we were then looking at about a $5.7 million total project with a $570,000 split between the two entities. However, as we found out on Friday, the 25 grants are being written at 5%, not 10%. So we're only obligated to the 5% as a whole. So between the two entities, we will actually be splitting $230,000 instead of $570,000. So that'll save each entity a little over $100,000. So I'm happy to report that. Talking about budget, all the other things that are happening, it's nice to actually say, hey, we're not going to spend as much money as we'd anticipated. So 826 is moving along. We've already got the east side of it already torn up. So it's moving rapidly. So hopefully we'll have a nice new runway come December 30th, somewhere around that time frame. Christmas, maybe we'll christen it or something. Anyway, thank you.
Rich, one more thing. I think it's important to thank all of you for the work that we did on the budget together. Having your support during the process and adopting this budget, I think is a testament to the hard work that's being done, because it's not easy. We do a lot of work. We always don't have the resources we need or want, and I think we have a great team that works really hard. And I also want to make a plug for the awesome work that our communications department is doing, including Coney, who has the accolades I've gotten from that initiative and that engagement, which has doubled down on our engagement, which again kind of leads to the fostering of trust between this commission, this organization, and our constituents, has been more than what I would consider a salary. And that's not all she does. It's a small portion of what she does. Yes. So I wanted to let you know that there's much more positive feedback I've received. There's some negative feedback, but like anything, I wanted to make sure you knew that there's a lot of good things coming out of, from that concerted effort. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Donna?
Nothing, thank you.
Sure.
I want to thank you guys again for making this budget season easier than I thought it might be.
Thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
Denise?
No, sir.
Just one quick thing, you've already heard it once tonight, but as a reminder, we are in the active stages now of our comprehensive planning. City manager mentioned that we'll be getting some information out here really shortly for people that want to start participating in that program. And just as a reminder, within the next few days, next couple of weeks, you'll be seeing more and more about that as we're looking for that public input, that public engagement. This plan is supposed to be a 10-year plan to help us as staff and you all as decision makers really guide what our next steps are going to be. So just as another plug.
Sir?
No, sir.
I just loved seeing the community come together today to share their thoughts and get clarification about things. I hope it was helpful for them. I hope they were able to get an understanding. I still struggle understanding all of that, so I can't imagine what they feel like. But I'm glad they all showed up and spoke up. We need to know how our decisions affect our citizens, and so that was, to me, was very helpful to have them here to share that with us. So I appreciate that. I do also appreciate all the city workers' hard work. You guys make our job easy. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to do all what you all do and still make the decisions that we have to make. So you guys make our jobs easy. Easier, I should say, to make those tough decisions that we have to make. So I appreciate your guys' hard work.
I just want to say thank you to all the staff for all the hard work on the budget and your day in, day out jobs that you do. Commissioners, for this budget cycle was pretty good. I too, as evidenced tonight in our interactions with those that had questions and wanted to share the impacts of the budget and the mill levy increases and assessed value increases. We thrive off of those conversations. We do our jobs better when we hear from the public. Otherwise, we're operating in a silo. And so I just would encourage everybody to continue to share ideas, what we're doing right, what we could do better, what we're doing wrong. Keep your negative off of Facebook. Other communities read that. If you're poo-pooing Newton, who wants to move here? But if you're championing everything that everybody does, then we're going to have people wanting to move here and everything. Show up next spring as we're starting our budget cycle again. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and call for a motion to move to executive session.
And this would be the blue sheet under the economic development, and I would say 9-10 coming back.
Okay. I move that the City Commission recess into executive session to conduct discussions regarding an industrial prospect. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss data relating to the financial affairs or trade secrets of corporations, partnerships, trusts, and individual proprietorships. The time and place at which the open meeting shall resume is 9:10 p.m. here in Commission Chambers.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. It is 9:10. We have returned from our executive session where no action was taken. We are back in regular session. This meeting